Tammy, we have 7 o'clock.
Turn your mic on.
Now we have 7 o'clock, Tammy, still 7 o'clock. The budget informational meeting called to order. At this point, if anybody has any questions about anything on the agenda, or not the agenda, but the
Town report.
warning or town report, feel free to ask. Other than that, we will go through it item by item. It's on page 6.
Mhm.
And unless there are questions, we're just gonna go over the items. Item 1, elected a new moderator, done every year. I believe John is
This year.
the moderator for this year, and we will be electing
Correct.
for the next year to come. Item 2, these are ballot items. Again, ballot items, so they will not be voted from the floor. They will not be discussed from the floor. This is the only time to question or discuss them. Shall the town appropriate $450,000 for road work? Oh, wait, is that a hand or is that just
Yep,
your?
there's a hand.
That's it. No, it's just.
That's your cursor?
That's
Okay.
cursor. Go ahead.
Just wanted to make sure. Shall the town appropriate $419,011.75 for the town general fund? Shall the town authorize cannabis retailers in the town pursuant to 7 VSA 863? Kind of feel like that one needs a little bit of explanation just because there hasn't been much information on it. This is one that was sent to towns 5 years ago,
Yeah.
4 years ago. It wasn't much of a concern when it first came out. It's been sent to us each year since then. But this is a vote to allow the retail sales of cannabis at any location. Whether that means a private company was to come in and open up a cannabis shop here in town, or if it was legal for the Stewart shop to carry cannabis. So in voting no, the town is denying the sale of cannabis products in the town of Bakersfield. Hopefully that is explanation enough. If there's any more questions, well, pretty much now is the time to ask them, but I hope that covers it. Item D, select board member 3-year term. E, select board member 2-year term. F, lister 3-year term. G, lister 1 year of a 3-year term, which means they would be voted in for this year and then have to rerun next year. H, auditor 2-year of a 3-year term. I, auditor of a 3-year term. Didn't share the door closed. It did. It decided to. Planning commission 3-year term. Planning commission 2-year term. Oh, it's Matt. Okay. 3, to act on the report of various town officers as contained in the current financial statement. 4, to elect the remaining town officers required by law. First constable, second constable, collector of delinquent taxes, grand juror, cemetery commission 5-year term, cemetery commission 4 years of a 5-year term, cemetery commission 3 years of a 5-year term, library trustee 3-year term, second library trustee at a 3-year term, and a trustee of public funds 3-year term. Those are voted from the floor. The only thing voted Australian ballot is item 2, which is
A through K.
A through K. Sorry, Tammy. Item 5, shall the town vote to have its property taxes due on the first Monday in October? Item 6, shall the town authorize the select board to set a tax rate to cover expenses as voted? 7, shall the town authorize the select board to borrow money in anticipation of taxes? 8, shall the town appropriate $10,000 for paving grant fund? This is a matching fund that we contribute to every year. 9, shall the town appropriate $10,000 for the bridge repair fund? Again, an item that we contribute to every year that is building in anticipation of a bridge replacement. 10, shall the town appropriate $34,000 for equipment repair fund? This fund is something that we try to carry a minimum of.
We got a question for item 5 from Andrietta.
Item 5, sorry, where were we? We were on.
Top of page 7.
Yep, no. Shall the town vote to have its property taxes due on the first Monday in October? At this time, there hasn't been any other dates discussed. It has always been the first Monday. Typically there's a date there, but every year we ended up looking for a date to get it into the book, and it's always been the first Monday, so we haven't really looked at any other dates at this point. There was talk a while ago about doing it twice a year, so there would be a mid-year due date and the October due date, end of year due date. Yeah, it was, I think April, October is correct, but at this point, that hasn't been approached or proved.
Actually voted on, I thought.
Does that answer your question?
Oh, wait, there's a follow-up.
Beginning of the year, so we don't need.
Why, or can you read it out loud, Josh, so I get the
Yeah,
record?
why aren't taxes collected at the beginning of the year, so we don't need to leverage? I assume we leverage since the year in question is started in January, maybe October. Yes, so that's what the TAN or the tax rate to cover expenses is called a TAN loan, a tax anticipation loan or note. We are not on a fiscal year like we would like to be. We tried to do that a couple of years back and it was met with
A lot of resistance.
a lot of resistance. So therefore we cannot vote on the budget until March. And we don't collect until October.
And the other issue is we can't set the tax rate until the state has set the school rate, which is always around the 1st of July. So after we get that, the select board sets down with the treasurer, sets the tax rate and sends the bills up.
Andrietta, if I may, what's your last name for the record? I know we have Vera on the phone too, Vera lawyer. Is your last name Andrietta?
Brandon.
Brandon.
Oh,
Okay.
thank you. Thank you,
Perfect,
Brandon.
thank you.
Sorry. Just for the record, we have to put it in the notes. So thank you. Are you good? Oh, okay. Thank you. Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
So you were down to
Item
equipment
10.
repair
Yep.
fund.
Shall the town appropriate 34,000 for equipment repair fund? This is a fund that we bring back up to 45,000 each year to cover equipment repairs. This year, obviously, there was quite a few repairs due to aging equipment, trucks mostly. So that one's up. Shall the town appropriate $757.28 for the HF Brigham Library? They are on fiscal year, so they are voting for 2026. Item 12, shall the town appropriate $5,000 for the Bakersfield Historical Society for 2026. Item 13, shall the town appropriate $4,000 for fireworks for the annual 4th of July celebration? 14, shall the town appropriate $20,000 for the Cook Cemetery and Maple Grove Cemetery for 2026? Item 15, shall the town appropriate the following sums of money? A, $500 for Cat Crusaders of Franklin County. B, $600 for the Missisquoi Valley River Basin Association. C, $200 for the Franklin County Industrial Development Corp. D, $1,822.80 for the Northwest Solid Waste District. E, $5,000 for the Fairfield Community Center. F, $500 for the American Red Cross. G, $200 for Vermont Rural Fire Protection Task Force. H, $150 for Franklin County Senior Center. Sorry, I'm just gonna look up every once in a while to make sure there's no questions. I, $250 for Vermont Family Network. J, $1,567 for the Northwest Regional Planning Commission. K, $2,776 for VNA and Hospice. L, $100 for Green Up Vermont. M, $1,500 for Agewell.
It's 15,000.
No, it's 1,500.
1,500. That's 1,500.
That is 1,500.
I don't know why I looked
Yeah.
down and saw it. Go ahead.
I'm
Just-
not
Oh, I
100%
missed it-
sure,
missed
but
a
I'm not
digit.
sure 15,000 would have made it happen.
Ageville
And
would have liked it.
$1,000 for Lucas James William Memorial Youth Fund. O, $95 for Vermont Center of Independent Living. And number 16 is to do and conduct any other to do any other business that can be properly transacted at this time. For the restrictions on that, I'm gonna go to our moderator, if he can just give us a rundown of what can and cannot be discussed at that time.
So primarily, and I don't have the list in front of
Sorry
me,
about
but
that.
as a overall, any open discussion is okay, so long as there is no voting with regards to discussion. We can't vote. We can't come in and someone asks to add something to the actual town meeting that would require a vote because it was not properly warned. But you can have open discussion about items or potential items that you want to bring forward in the upcoming next town meeting.
Or like a show of hands if there's someone who's
If
interested.
there's some support, right, for next year, for town meeting,
Yeah.
but there is no voting on off the floor for that.
Number 15, John, A through O. Last couple of years, we've voted for those as a block.
They've opted to vote for a block, yes, rather
Do
than
we
go
put
into.
that to a vote? I can't-
Yes, we have in the past put it to a vote to allow people to decide if we want to vote for a block or not. And in the, right, and the last 2 years that I've done the moderation, it has passed that we vote as a block.
You have a question here?
Just wondering if this is the first year that the Vermont Family Network has asked for money from Bakersfield?
It is, I might have their paper. Okay, so, and I believe if you, in the letter, it says that they've actually, it's more of a name change than anything.
Okay, that's what I was just gonna say.
And they took the place of,
Vermont Parent Information Center. Okay.
yep.
Yep.
Which I believe we
Wasn't
did
here
contribute
before.
to the year before.
Vermont Family Network.
I did notice we don't have page numbers next to them. Again,
But it looks like it's been a little while. It was formed in 2008 when two organizations, the Vermont Parent Information Center and Parent to Parent of Vermont merged. So this has been around 15 years. I was just curious as to whether this was the first time we were approached as a community, and it looks like you're saying that this is new.
page 61.
I didn't recognize it as something that we had supported. I'm scanning what it says, and I guess they were
Yeah.
reaching out to.
I, for some reason, I feel like was that one on there? And then last year they didn't get paperwork out to us?
I don't believe it's been on there.
Yeah, no,
Yes,
okay.
that sounds familiar, that, yeah, it came in late or.
I don't think
There you
it's
go.
Yeah, but it
It
wasn't.
wasn't them?
Last
Okay.
year's-
There, we looked through a lot of them. And there was, so the reports are all in the town books, but if there's any letters of explanation, they, you know, they
It's not
come to the
here.
board explaining why, you know, they may or may not have had one last year, or if it's a name change or something like that, we didn't necessarily put those in there, so. But that one, it doesn't look like we have contributed to in the past. Um,
What was the original name?
it's on the,
It's in the letter, but it's been this since 2008, so I mean, it's been a
That
while.
to
I
my
don't see it.
recollection, we haven't given them before.
It's on page 61.
Yeah, I'm in 2023s. That's why I was wondering what the name of the old organization was.
Yeah, it's still-
No.
I would sometimes encourage families to reach out to them. It's kind of helpful for me to know, get the name right and have a little bit of information.
Yep.
Um,
well, and so if we haven't contributed to that or opted to put their name in here, it's because we didn't receive a letter requesting. For the most part, any letter that we get requesting for taxpayer contribution,
No.
unless it's not pertains to us at all, which we do get sometimes. If it's a Franklin County thing that any of our community members have a benefit from, we put it in here and let them make the decision, so.
Hi,
Hi,
I'm not sure how I'm supposed to do this. Can I just unmute and ask a question?
go ahead.
Okay, so you have quite a bit available for your road and your general fund at the end of the year. I'm just wondering what you planned on doing with that, if anything.
It's still gotta get us through till October.
Well, yes, it does, but I understand that, but you have quite a bit there. I just was wondering if you had any special plans for it or thought about maybe setting it aside, you know, having that so that you could work your way to getting another year so that when you're voting in October, you're voting for the next year rather than the current year. I was wondering if you wanted to use any of that to set aside for that reason.
That has been discussed, Vera.
Okay, just
And
thought
that
I'd
is-
ask.
And that is something that we would very much like to work towards.
Okay, that's what I was thinking would be a good idea. So you wouldn't have the problem each July or August where you don't have enough money. Lately, it's been good though. You've been lucky.
Find some wood to knock on.
Yes, really, right here.
Fortunately, last year, we didn't have to take a TAN out. We had other funds incoming, which were
Helped us out.
basically expended in 2019. Those FEMA funds finally came in,
Yeah, and the Brigham money.
and some Brigham money, which was,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, I was lucky when I was there. I think I only had to borrow maybe once. So it's nice to have it there to use, but
It's hard when
Yeah.
you have to borrow because you have to pay the interest.
And the FEMA
Yes.
ones that came back are also partially responsible for the large balance.
right. I understand that.
Any other questions?
Surgery and then continue alone after surgery. Albert Edgar Love.
Not seeing any at this point. I think it would be in our best interest to remain on the meeting until 7:30 to give any late showers the option to show up and ask questions if needed. We probably will mute the microphones,
Stop recording.
and probably stop our recording so that there's not 10 minutes of dead air.
Well, we could also explain to Vera about the possibility of purchasing a new truck too, so that's on record.
Okay, absolutely.
One of the other thoughts, Vera, was to save these funds. We have 3 trucks, 2 of which are aging, and like myself, have aftermarket parts in them. And we're gonna need to purchase another truck at some point, and rather than ask the town to support that from taxes, we could use some of the surplus to go towards that project.
Yeah, you you would get borrow less to pay for it, or yes, yeah, I
Correct.
see. Okay. Thank you.
All right. Well, then with that, if there's no objections, I'll pause the recording and mute the mics until 7:30.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, since it is 7:30 and nobody else has showed up, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion, we adjourn the informational meeting for the town meeting day.
I'll second.
Motion has been made and seconded. All those in favor of adjournment signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you for coming.
Yeah, thank you, Brandon.
Thank you, Brendan.